Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for being here. It's an honor to be invited by Cuddle Africa, to share this platform, to be able to talk to parents and teachers, caregivers, in the room today. I welcome you. I'd like to thank the leadership of Cuddle Africa for inviting me. I hope that today to really be value for your time and that you'll be able to take one or two things home that will, of course, benefit your parenting journey. If you're a teacher, also benefit your career or your journey as a teacher. So today I'm supposed to talk about parental involvement in education. Let me just introduce myself in case you don't know me. My name is Anu Akinola. I'm an early childhood specialist. I'm a parent. I'm a mother of two children. My first son is 18, almost 18 in a few weeks. And my second child is a daughter. She's 15. Of course, I'm happily married. I run my own business, the preschool. Let me just say childcare business. So we do mobile services. We run childcare generally, different kinds of we bring it on different platforms, so mobile, on-site, and the likes. I also work at the mentoring school for early childhood education. So generally, I'm an early childhood specialist, and it's really been a journey. And so I can say that I'll be able to speak from two sides of the coin as a mother, a parent myself, and also as an educator. Also, I'm an author. I've written two books. I've co-authored some other books, but I've written two books on my own. The first book was I think last year, called Guiding Grace, and then this one is written earlier this year called Born a Giant. So that's a bit about me. But today, let's go straight to the point. Today, we'll be talking about parental involvement in education. And I want us to know that, you see, what we're talking about today is a foundation is a key, the key foundation for your child's success in life. So really our focus today, what we're focusing in this discussion is how you can build strong partnerships for your child's success. A lot of times, I know that there are a lot of people in the room that, they already understand their role as primary educators or primary child caregivers. And I understand that a lot of people are homeschooling. But it's always good to remind us of those things, especially to remind us of why we are doing and why it's important that we continue to play this role actively. I know that a lot of people are already active, in their children's educational journey, and I want to congratulate you. I tell you, there is no greater thing that you can do in your child's life than to be involved. When you are involved, there's quite a number of different, there's quite a big, huge difference that we see. You can see me as an educator, as a school owner. We see the difference at our own end. We're doing our best, but we see that there's a lot of difference when parents, not just moms and dads, are involved. I want to stop at this point to emphasize that a lot of times when it comes to children's education nurturing, it's like the mothers are the key, stakeholders. They're the one holding on, making sure that things are actually done right. But the truth is that it takes two wings to fly. So I want to encourage all the dads that's a listening ear that your own role is also very key. And there's a lot of research around the importance of parents, both mom and dad, both of them being hands-on in encouraging and being involved in their children's education. So let's just give a quick introduction to say that parental involvement goes beyond just paying fees and attending PTA meetings. I'm sure that you know that. A lot of you, like I said, are already homeschooling, taking care of your children. And I know that people do their homeschooling or school their children at home for various reasons. I want you to be able to ask yourself, why am I doing it? I want you to know that it's a very important thing that you're doing, but you must understand why. So parental involvement in education is not just about attending the meetings. Of course, the many meetings we see is like always a mom's forum. So I go back to, it's important that dads are also carried along in this. So it's not just that, but it's one of the strongest predictors of your children's success. That's the truth. This is statistics. It's not just about encouraging you or just saying one or two things today, but it's about stats, data speaking today, that it is one of the greatest predictors. When you want to predict how successful a child is, you have to go back to look at the home front. How are the parents, engaging the child at home? So I want you to know that children thrive when parents and school work together. You see, you are your child's first and most important teacher. Please don't forget that. You are your child's first and most important teacher. They say everything rises and falls on leadership. Yes, the leadership of the home. Everything rises and falls on what happens, the foundation that has been laid at the home. So, and of course, when the foundation is laid, you are not just going to continue to do it alone. Then you can move on to raising a village that helps you to support your child. Some people say, oh, it used to be in the past that it takes a village to raise a child. I tell you right now, it still takes a village to raise a child. Your child is a king, a queen. You are raising a king and a queen, and your house is too small to do that. You're going to need the partnership of other people. You are going to need their support. It's going to come a time that your child is not going to really, the impact of your input on your child will be seen when others are also supporting you. Your child is going to need mentors. Your child is going to need instructors. So I want you to know that it's not just about you, but you are important, as well as you be able to know the village that is being able to recognize the village that is important in your journey. So really, please take it that you are not going to do this alone. It really indeed takes a village to raise a child, but you must have the right village to raise your child. So why does parental involvement matter? There are key things. I will first talk about academic impact. I tell you, when statistics have shown that when we have parents that are involved, children have better grades. I tell you, you see, children are able to understand, comprehend, and participate better when their parents are involved. Literacy and numeracy. You see, they always say that children are made readers on the lap of their parents. I tell you, you will see the difference in a parent that's been engaging their child since pregnancy, reading to the child in the womb, playing music, talking to the child. The child comes, when the child arrives, they're still talking, they're reading, they're taking time to engage the child, play games, pick up book, reading for them, you see a lot of difference. And the truth is that that's where the foundation for lifelong success is laid. And the truth is, when the foundation is not laid right, there's really nothing you can do. You just be struggling. So involving yourself early on, especially at the early stages of your child. And you see, a lot of people miss that period. They say, oh, early years, just to play. Once I buy ice cream, they are okay. No, during that time, their brain is developing. 80% of their brain is developed by age 5. So there are critical things that you must be doing. In fact, let me just quickly say that there are 3 key things that help in brain development. Nutrition, that's good food, good environment, and quality relationships. You see, that good environment is about what you have made available in your home. It's not about the expensive toys, it's about the engaging toys. So it doesn't have to be an expensive Lego. It could just be a tire that's been made available, an outdoor area that your children can run. And also the environment, a library of toys, I say a library of books. Early on in life is part of the quality environment. But you see, that quality relationship is about daddy being available to be able to play peekaboo, mommy being available to be able to smile at the baby when the baby smiles, or just to encourage to care for the child is also part of it. So that quality relationship is one of the key factors of brain development. So you see that early on, if you as a parent have that understanding of your role in the academic success, you are quick to leverage. You're not saying, oh, I paid this expensive fees. Oh, I paid this person. Why are you not doing your job? You lay the foundation. What you lay at home is what every other person is building on. And remember, I said quality relationship. The relationship between the father and the mother is part of the things that help brain development. So if you and father and mother, you are fighting, you're having quarrels, there's no love in the home, it's affecting brain development, it's affecting quality outcomes. So academic impact is very important. Like I said, children are made readers on the laps of their parents. What are you doing with your children? How are you engaging them? The other thing is social emotional impact. So self-esteem. All these things are, the foundations are laid early. Early years really matter. In fact, the early years determine the next 80 years. So self-esteem, motivation, resilience. You know what? The way you talk to your children at home become their inner voice. So if you are a shouting mother, your children, you know, that's what they hear, that's what they become. If you are not a good role model, you are saying, oh, do as I do, not what I do, as I say, not what I do. You know, all your activities, the skills that you are helping them to build, maybe do chores, learn a skill, learn to make the hair, or go to the mechanic workshop, volunteer at a church or something. All those skills that you're building in them is helping them to build self-esteem and also to build resilience. I tell you, a lot of those skills are first learned at home before in the school. Some schools might not focus on skill building for you, and then your child will miss that early foundation of building resilience, early foundation of boosting self-esteem. And you see, nobody can cheer your child as much as you. You are supposed to be the number one advocate, the number one cheerleader in your home. If you are not involved, you cannot advocate right for your child because you don't even know your child. So being involved, you know, is so multifaceted. It helps you to know who your child is. You can know your child and know, oh, this is the best educational system. Oh, my child is a kinesthetic learner. This is my child's love language. You know, this is how my child learns. This is how my child wants to be loved. All those things, if you are involved, then you are able to make better impact. So their social emotional impact, you know, you really matter in that. You really matter. They learn from you. They become who you are. I tell you, if you are not reading, you are not, you are indulging in some things, you think, oh, my children will not be like me. I tell you, they don't have to say it. I remember, let me give you an example. I remember a time, you know, this story looks very funny. It looks like, oh, it's not about education, but I tell you, your children become who you are, not what you say they should be. So I remember this time in our home, my husband just said, oh, this year we're not drinking fizzy, you know, everybody's just going to be water, you know, fresh juices and all. And I really like Coke. So I told him, I said, look, please tell that to your children. I'm not your child. I'm going to take my Coke. I need all the adrenaline rush. I need the Coke for energy. That I work a lot. You know, I gave all my excuses. So I told him I was playing along as if, you know, I was, you know, on everybody's side. We're all not drinking Coke and all. And when I get to my office, I'll drink my Coke, enjoy and I'll wipe my mouth. By the time I get home, and I realized that my children were struggling. They just could not complain. They just could not, you know, just not do it. You know, they'll be begging my husband, please, let's just take Coke. You know, it was really a struggle. One day I asked myself, who is in control? Is it me or this Coke? And I just made up my mind that, look, I'm going to go on this journey. And I said I was going to do one whole year without Coke. You see what that thing, you see, one of the things about parenting is that if it doesn't change you, you are not doing the work of parenting. Maybe you're just enjoying, you're on a spa, you know, you're not working. So I realized that I must change. I must be the role model first. So what I said I was not going to, and I didn't, you know, make a fuss about it. I just continued, you know, the no Coke challenge in our home and over. And we started doing fresh juices at home and everything. In fact, that thing it's now a business that my children run, Fruitimo. Anyway, so I just started and I realized something happened without even making a fuss. Do you know my children will go to parties and they'll just say, I pass. As in, there was no struggle. It was not easy. As in, it was not like you needed to beg or something. They had the sudden strength or the grace just to be able to say no to, you know, fizzy and not feel intimidated when we go out, you know, and to be able to ask for, oh, I'm sorry, I don't take this. Can I have juice instead, you know? So I know that I have a very great impact on the lives, the path of my children. So if I change, my children can change. So I'm challenging you today. What is it that your children are struggling with? Can you first look inward? Parenting is first of all about you and not your child. So a social, emotional impact, a lot rises and falls on you of who your children become. What about behavioral impact? Those are one of the things that makes your parental involvement will matter in the academics when it comes to behavioral impact. So how, you know, if you are involved, if you are interested in the activities, you know, they are not good. Even in the university, you realize that children that their parents are involved, their absenteeism is reduced. That's data. They realize that, of course, that they have better behavior. They know that, oh, my mom, you know, is not going to be happy when I misbehave on the school bus. You know, my mom is going to make me face the consequences. My mom is going to come to school to check my books. My mom is going to come to the PTA meeting. So because of that, you see that even behavior is much better when you are in. So the truth is that what a child does not receive, he will seldom give. He won't give later what he has not received yesterday. So the truth, like we all know, is that you can't give what you don't have. So what you have not done at home, what impact you have not made at home, when your children are not able to give it. So in the end, you see, your involvement in their academics or their education is long-term impact. So it's not really about you going to school alone, but it's about even the education at home. What you are, do you even have goals for your children that by age 5, my child should be able to do? What are development goals? Are you monitoring it? You see, your own knowledge of your child's stage in life is one of the greatest advantage that you could ever bring to the table. So long-term impact. You realize that children that their parents are involved in education have higher education degree, and of course, research says greater career success. Okay, so let's look at dimensions of parental involvement. You can be involved involved in the education at different levels. Of course, we know home-based, education. Maybe you're at home, you are helping them with their reading, their homework, and their routine. You have a routine. This is the time my children wake up. This time they eat. It's part of their education. This is what we do at this time. This is our morning routine. This is our evening routine. This time we go outdoors. This time for reading. This time for screen time. That's the routine. It's part of education. So you are helping them to provide that structure that allows them to grow properly. And if you have young children, I think routine is one of the greatest, structure systems that you can bring to your home. It solves a lot of discipline issues. You see, a lot of things that we hit children for, that we abuse children for, is because there is no structure in the home. One of the things you can do at home, home-based, reading, homework, support them in the homework, and of course, routine. And of course, another thing is school-based involvement, like attending meetings. A lot of children, when their parents don't come for like open day, show and tell, you see they're crying. You don't know. You say, oh, they'll forget. But I tell you, children don't forget. You are telling them today that they matter. You see, they always say that a child that you want to be in their tomorrow, you have to be in their memory today. So if you want to be in their lives tomorrow, then you must be in their memory today. So be involved. Make sure that you have settled how important your child's education, you being involved in, then you will be able to make time. Sometimes I'm too tired, I'm busy, and my husband will always respond, say, you are not too busy to parent our child. You are not too busy to parent our children. The same day, some other day, it is feeling tired. I can't attend that meeting. I'm so busy today. I need to rest. I will remind him, you are not too busy to parent our children. Because the truth is that journey is just about 18 years. 18 years is actually 264 months. So you can imagine that the time is actually very short for you. Okay, so school-based, like I said, meetings, volunteer. Yes, volunteer. If they have Father's Day, please involve yourself. You see, that singular volunteering can show your children that they matter and that their education matters, that they put in effort in it is also very important. So volunteer and also communicate if there's any issue. Don't just stay at home and be complaining that the school is this, the school is that. Get involved. Be on the PTA board. If you are not in the board, you are not involved, you are not volunteer, then if they take decisions, then it's binding. So make sure you are there. You are a voice for child rights. You are a voice for your children's rights. You are not fighting them. Remember, you are fighting them. You are partnering with them. Sometimes people, maybe your child is in school, you are fighting with the teachers, you can't curse a land and expect it to bless you. So you must see them as partners. If you are so strong, negatively opinioned with the school, then maybe you should change the school. But you see, no, there's no perfect system anyway. When you can communicate, in the right manner, you can communicate, peacefully to the school, a lot of things happen. But if you are fighting at home, you are speaking about your children's teachers in front of the children, I tell you, your children are not able to grow and thrive. So what about communities? Yes, that's another dimension to your involvement, engaging them, going to the library, looking for mentors as your children grow old. As my children grew older, I started seeking for my boy. I got a boys' academy for him to join so he could see a mentor, even though his dad was very much present. But it gets to a stage that they need to also hear what you are hearing from other people. Sometimes you need to share other people's perspectives as well. So your daughter, you might look for other sources of mentoring for them. My daughter daughter has a mentor. She understands. She's learning honor. She's learning a lot of things from that mentoring program, apart from me, even though I'm really involved in the academics, in their growth and the development. But I also make sure that there are other people that are supporting me in this journey. Remember, I'm raising a king, I'm raising a queen. And my house is too small to raise her. I must be able to borrow other people's exposure, other people's expertise to be able to raise the child, that the king or queen that I want. So, of course, enrichment activities. You might not know everything. You want your children to be able to learn other things, volunteer with your friends, work in a supermarket, go and learn a skill somewhere. So you are going to also have to involve them in enrichment activities. Those are part of your parental involvement. You seeking out what your child needs per time, per age, by developmental milestone, and engaging them in it. Also, a key area of your parental involvement is in the digital space. So you have to guide online learning. Have a media plan in your home. This is where we use media. At what age? These are the things. This is how we engage online. Oh, I cannot play a game with somebody I've not engaged with physically before. You have, this is where we use our device in our home. We cannot use our device in the room. This is the time that we do. You have a media plan. That is part of, don't just say, they are doing their homework. No, it has to be supervised, it has to be guided, and you have to review it from time to time. Also, you also have to always be ahead of the game. Don't say, I don't even understand what they are doing this year. You have to understand, because your children will always be ahead of you. I tell you, if you put screen protection and you are not wise as a parent, you are not digitally educated, they are going to go ahead of you. They know how to bypass all those things. And it's not because your children are your children are naughty, or there is one evil. There's no evil ongoing. They are just engaging the kind of world that they are growing in. Your children are digital natives, so naturally they are going to be curious. They are going to seek, for innovation. And remember that you've exposed them. So if a child's mind is innovative, a child's mind is seeking, how to do this and how to do that, it's an added advantage, but it needs a lot of guidance. So you also have to be there to guide, to monitor screen time. This is the time for screen time. This is the number of hours or minutes that you can use on screen. So you can't just leave them by themselves. You see, if you leave your child by yourself, there are other people, the screen, the world, that are ready to mentor, to guide your child without even your notice and your permission. So I would say that behind every young child who believes in himself is, first of all, a parent that believes in them. So you see, you believing in your child is having a plan for your child, knowing that, my child is able to do this part-time, and you engaging that child. Your involvement is the key in your child's education. So let's look quickly as we start to round up about barriers to parental involvement. Of course, people say I'm busy. Busy work schedule. Look, I say something. We always make room for what is important. You choose what is important. But I want to besiege you. I like to use besiege when it becomes, I use Bible English when it's becoming very serious. I like to besiege you to take this seriously, because you really have very short time. You see, the time that you say I don't have now, you're going to spend later. You see some children that their parents are not involved in their education. At the end of the day, they are going to spend that hours visiting children in rehab home. Do you know how much rehab is? Like 1 million naira per month. You are going to spend that money that you didn't spend in investing in their education. You are going to spend that time. You are going to be visiting one child, I tell you, it's better late than never. It's better now. That's what I want to say. It's better now. And the truth is that they always say that prevention is better than cure, because cure is not sure. I tell you. You might think, I'll solve the problem, but you might never have a solution later. So please, work around your busy schedule. Make sure that as you're working, your children are a priority for you. Another barrier to parental involvement could be low literacy or lack of confidence. You think, I don't know this thing, I can't help my child. I tell you, you can. You have what it takes. If you don't have it, you have the network. Seek the knowledge. You see, I remember the story of Ben Carson as always an inspiration to me. This woman learned how to read so that she could teach her children. I tell you, it's never too late to inspire your children. Where you stop is usually where your children will stop. I remember my mother-in-law, she always inspires me. She had 6 boys. After she had all her children was when she went back to school. She didn't have university education. So when her first son was going to school was when she went to school. She retired as a permanent secretary. You can imagine if she thought, oh, I've had all children, I just want to be raising my children, we don't know where she will be today, what she will be able to capable of doing. But more than that, she has inspired her own children to do more. She has stories inspiring to her own grandchildren. Don't think when you stop, I'm telling you, you are giving your children, you're not giving your children wings to fly. So don't let that be an excuse. Pick up something, learn something so that you can also be able to help your children. Increase your knowledge. This year, how many parenting books have you read? What have you read to up your knowledge about how you can help your children? So what about cultural beliefs? A lot of people believe that I've paid school fees, so let the teachers do their job. Those are barriers. Poor communication from schools. The school your children are going, they're not communicating with you on how you need to support your children. If they're not communicating with you, go there and communicate with them. I said you should be the advocate for your child. And then sometimes socioeconomic challenges, you say, I don't have money, this and that. But I tell you, see, when there's a will, there's a way. Barriers are nothing, excuses are nothing. Make up your mind, and once you have a will, you see that the doors begin to open. Let me quickly round up. Let me see what I've not said in my notes. Okay, let's look at a few strategies for effective involvement. So, of course, have open two-way communication. If your child is in a school now, engage them, find out, what can I do as a home? What can I learn? Can you share the curriculum so that along, you know what your child, ask your child, be involved, look at the homework. You might not be able to do the physics, but let them know that you are involved. Attend the parents forum, be in their meetings, have these conversations with your children. And then, of course, make sure that if you're a school owner, make sure that there's this open two-way communication with parents. Make sure that you are providing parents workshops and resources. As the parents, I congratulate you for being here. These are the places that where we'll learn new things, and get better clarity on how to help our children. I think those are the things that schools can also do. They continue to share resources with parents, make sure that, of course, that they're partnering, they're involving them in their children. But if your child is in a school that is not involving them, make sure that you go take yourself to the school and do something. So, of course, the teachers and schools have a role to play. Of course, make sure that there's a welcoming environment for parents. We're not carrying bias. We're not feeling like, where they know it all. No, everybody's learning. Of course, we're giving actionable feedback. It's only not when they are doing bad. Everything, we're giving good feedback that are actionable, that even parents can take action on. And of course, we're celebrating parental contribution when we see that the parents is making effort. We're, encouraging them, and of course, or as a school, if you're a school owner, offer flexible meeting times could also be a way of supporting parents to encourage educational involvement. Let's finally look at parenting roles at different ages. Of course, one of the things, like I said, that one of the things you bring to the table in your child's journey is your knowledge. Your knowledge, self-awareness, your growth is one of the things that you bring to the table. And I'm saying that to emphasize on this fact that your children will be in different milestones. Like we're in this room now, you have children or parents that are in the early years, they have school age, they have, secondary school, adolescence, and the likes. Your children will have different needs pattern. You must be able to know that this is what my child needs in the early years. Like in the early years, you need to be able to play. I tell you, you must go and learn it because that's how their brain develops. You need to engage with them at that level of play. Play is one of the key things that helps brain development. I talked about the environment. Play is a key player in that. Storytelling, language, speaking to your child. Your child is 1 year old or 2 months. You're saying, this child is not listening to me. Talk to the child and, learn how to be a storyteller, how to use your body, how to use your intonation, all those things are supporting your child at the earliest. But you see, if you don't understand the milestone, what they are supposed to achieve at that age, then you can't develop yourself to be able to support your child. So first of all, you must know, this is the stage my child is. This is what my child needs. This is the milestone my child is supposed to be achieving per time. And this is what I need to do as a parent to be able to support my child. Do you understand that? So at primary, you start moving to, of course, homework, help, supporting them with routine, and of course, encouraging them. You see, at that primary level, a lot of them are moving to puberty, a lot of things, hormones, things are just changing, things are happening. Your child really does not know. So they need a lot of encouragement, a lot of support, not you just, really just shouting, rolling out instructions, but you must engage them use friendship as a tool. I'm not saying you have to be their bestie, but you must use friendship as a tool. Then by the time they move to adolescence, they need your guidance, they need your listening ear. Of course, they need you to respect them, respect their independence as well. Of course, start talking about career. Then they need other people, they need mentors. So those things that you're saying is like, oh, mom, you're stressing me. But if they have a mentor, someone that believes in them, something that they look up to, that person can also speak the same language you're speaking at home. Because by the time they become adolescents, you will notice that everything changes. Everything, they begin to listen to what other people are saying more than what you're saying. But you see, the foundation of the connection you have built when they were in their early years is going to support your relationship with them at adolescence. So you see how it's building up. So you were playing with them, you've connected with them. By the time you come as an adolescent, then you are able, because that connection is already there, you realize that it's easy for you to even speak and listen. So it's, first of all, you connect with them before you can correct them. So you will see that your parental role in involvement, even in education, in their growth, will differ as the ages also differ. I know we can't really talk about that in depth because I had 20 minutes. I'm sure my time is over. I just like to conclude to say that parents and teachers are partners. You have a role to play as a teacher. You have a role to play as a partner. Everyone must play their role. Every role is unique. Every role is important. But as a parent, I tell you, this is your child. You decide now what they be in future. What they live, their early years determine the rest of their lives. Please make a quality investment by being involved. And when I mean by being involved, it's like your presence is really key. Some people are present and absent. No, you have to be present and present. You know what I mean? It's not like you are there. I say, I'm the one that pick my children. There are people, they pick their children from school, they are home, but they are not the one doing the job of parenting. They've delegated the most important part of their lives to caregivers and please be involved. Make sure that you know your child. You are able to advocate for your child. You're able to say this. I remember my child is a kinesthetic learner. Because I'm involved in his education, I'm involved in his early learning. I knew his learning style. I could advocate when they get to school and they say, oh, he's so short attention span. I say, what method are you using? Are you just using chalk to talk, chalk? Talk and chalk. Have you heard they say? Just the blackboard, the whiteboard only all day. A kinesthetic learner is not going to thrive in that kind of environment. So you see, I can advocate to say, oh, teacher, I understand your challenges, but can we do it this way? Can we do that? It's because I know my child. If I'm not involved, I can't advocate for my child. Your child might not be suited for that environment, but if you don't know, you don't know. You will just be shouting, comparing your children. I have 2 children. One is an kinesthetic learner, one is auditory. You just say, I can't see your sister. She can just sit in one place. No 2 children are the same. But if you don't know, you can't advocate, you can't support your child. Remember, your children are unique. And you must begin to love them for who they are, not who you want them to be. So understand that you have a critical role. You are the most important, factor. You can bring an advantage to your child's education journey. I tell you, you have the greatest advantage or disadvantage your child can come across. But I want to encourage you to just take small steps. Every small effort counts. What you are doing, parenting is not really about a perfect journey. It's about showing up and consistency. Keep doing it. Keep trying. Keep putting an effort. Keep being there. And you will see that you will not just only raise, successful children. You raise children that are resilient, children that can thrive. I'll end with this quote by Nelson Mandela. He said that education is the most powerful tool in which you can use to change the world. I tell you, if you partner, if you are involved in that education of your child, you are a change maker. You are a world changer. Yes, we need more of parents, starting early and getting involved. Don't leave the job for the teachers alone. Thank you for listening. I know that I'm not live to take your questions, but you can send me questions at arnoakiola@gmail.com or maybe to Codul Africa. They can always reach me and I'll be glad to answer your questions. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of the conference and thank you, Codul Africa, again for inviting me. God bless you, everyone.